Hello everyone, welcome to the 11th episode of DraftKings, the only podcast that gives you all the top-level limited information you could ever need. I'm Shyler, and with me today, as always, is Tyler. How you doing, Tyler?
Hey.
Awesome. Today we're going to be talking about the spoilers that have been released for Shadows over Innistrad, and what that means for limited. But first, we're going to open a pack and see what we would pick out of the pack. This week's pack is Scars of Mirrodin. So, let's get to the comments.
Okay, the first one is Moriok Reaver, 2 and a black for 3/2. It's a good, solid creature.
Yeah, for a vanilla creature,
Yeah.
pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you've got Galma's Warden, 3 and a white for a 2/4 with Metalcraft. He gets +2/+2 if you control 3 or more artifacts.
If you have Metalcraft, this would be awesome.
With how many artifacts that are in the set, this can often be a 4/6 for 4.
Yeah.
Alright, we've got Origin Spellbomb. 1 for a artifact. You can pay 1 and tap it and sack it to put a 1/1 mirror artifact creature token onto the battlefield. And then when Origin Spellbomb is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, you may pay a white if you do draw a card.
I like it.
Yeah.
I love that the spell bombs always have
cantrip and a creature for 3 mana.
Yeah, I love that they always have 2 abilities, and one of them is always draw a card. So you can always cycle this if anything. And
well, yeah, it's like I said, for 3 mana you draw a card and get a 1/1 dude. It's like Gravebirth.
yeah. Wait, can you do?
You do both.
Oh, you can do both.
Well, that's the only way to do it. You want to do both.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Gravebirthing in battle.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Gravebirthing was copying this, but yeah, it's kind of like that.
Pretty good.
All right, we've got Alpha Tyrannix, 4 and 2 green for a 6/5 vanilla.
Looks like a artifact T-Rex.
One of those big green guys that you get in every set, right? You always get huge green vanilla creatures.
Sometimes not vanilla, but
well, you always get big, huge green vanilla creatures. I'm not saying all of the big green creatures are vanilla, but you always get big green vanilla creatures.
Yeah, that's true.
Big, like 6/6s for 6 or 6/5s for 6.
Yeah, and these are always probably going to wheel around at least once.
There's always a newbie at the table that'll take them.
Yeah. Holy crap, this has so much power and toughness. This is the best card ever.
Mm-hmm. Alright, now Shatter, which is 1 and a red for destroy target artifact. And this was way better in this set because of the magnitude of artifacts in this set. This is premium removal. This is like main boardable in this set.
Yeah, this is where you want to pay attention to that coming around. Artifact removal is
it's huge in this set. In this block, it was huge.
I don't know how heavy it was, if this was like the only instance of artifact removal, or if there was a lot more, but
there wasn't a lot.
So, pick it up if you see it. Type of thing if you're drafting this set.
Alright, we've got Glimmer Post. It's a land, it's a locust. When Glimmer Post enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life for each locust on the battlefield. And it taps to add 1 colorless to your pool.
Yeah, they threw this back to Mirrodin, because in original Mirrodin it had, I forget the name of the land, it was Cloud Post, I think, and it was a locust too. So
yeah,
and it had an ability, the same thing that had something to do with locusts. I can't remember exactly, but
I don't know. There's not very many cards that have to do with locusts.
Well, I mean, it didn't really make a difference anyway. Like even in Constructed, there was only 4 of these, you could run there, and then no other locusts. And then, what would be the point?
Mm-hmm.
Every land you lay of this, gains you 1, 2 life, maybe 3.
Mm-hmm. But
still.
Alright, we've got Kuldotha Rebirth. 1 red for a sorcery. As an additional cost to cast Kuldotha Rebirth, sacrifice an artifact. and you get to put 3 1/1 red goblins on the battlefield.
Yeah, this is
this is
pretty-
great, and it actually combos with your origin spell bomb because you can just pay a red and a white, and you get 3 1/1 goblins and a
draw
card.
a card. Yeah.
Right. Combos with a lot of with basically all the spell bombs.
Yeah.
So if you've got spell bombs, this is even better.
Not to mention just sacking.
Right.
Sacking
a little artifact isn't hard.
Yeah, like there are I bet there are a ton of like 1/1s for one or something similar.
Yeah.
That you could get rid of and not care. Turn into 3 goblins.
Mm-hmm.
What's next?
Vector Asp. It's a 1 mana artifact snake. 1/1. For a black, you can give it infect until the end of the turn. It's a fine little creature.
Yeah, I used to way back. I used to play this just for fun in constructed, and it was not constructed. I don't know what we used to play when we were first into Magic. We didn't really play constructed. It was just we played.
We just played with whatever we had.
Yeah, but this is a cool little infect creature.
Mm-hmm. The art's cool.
Yeah, I don't really get the why it's spraying poison everywhere. Is that what asps do?
Infect. It can get infect until the end of the turn.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. But then how do? Never mind.
If it couldn't get infect, it wouldn't be spraying smoke.
Well, infect could be like a. Well, I guess it could be that. I was just thinking like.
Why can't it be?
I was just thinking like it was like venom or something that is infect, but then again, for every other creature that has infect, they don't have venom.
So Blightsteel Colossus sprays venom. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but how does he have infect? That doesn't. On the art, it doesn't explain.
Sure, the art isn't meant to reflect what
but
the card has, right? Like everything with first strike doesn't have a similar thing that makes it first strike in the art, right?
Yeah.
They're not holding like this special sword that you have to have if you have first strike. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not. The art isn't trying to portray the effects of the card a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got Vault Skyward. It's 1 blue for an instant. Target creature gains flying until the end of the turn and untap it. It's a good combat trick.
This would be cool if it drew a card, but it doesn't. So. Yeah.
Kills a creature.
It does.
Kills a creature. Soul Parry. 1 and a white for an instant. Prevent all damage 1 or 2 target creatures would deal this turn. It's
Turbo Fog.
Another decent combat trick. Isn't Fog better though?
Because Fog is just one. Yeah,
so this is like half Fog. It's not Turbo Fog. It's like
no. I'm just saying it goes in the Turbo Fog deck. I get you could go in the Turbo Fog deck. Doesn't necessarily go in there. It could.
Okay.
But that would require you playing green and white.
Yeah.
Instead of some other color combination or just green.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, those are the commons. Let's get to the uncommons.
Okay, we got Necrogen Scudder. 2 and a black for 3/3 with flying, and when it enters the battlefield, you lose 3 life. That's a pretty. Well,
it's sort of a small.
The creature is very
drawback.
very worth it, but the drawback makes you kind of think twice about it.
Well, I guess it could be considered a small drawback
3 life is more
compared to what this creature's gonna do. You get a 3/3 for 3 with flying.
Yeah, exactly.
I would take this pretty highly, but I wouldn't first pick it. Just because losing 3 life does hurt, but having only to lose 3 life to get a 3/3 flyer is pretty worth it, in my opinion.
Alright, we got Contagion Clasp. 2 mana for a artifact. When it enters the battlefield, put a -1/-1 counter on target creature. And then you can pay 4 and tap it to proliferate.
It's a bit expensive to proliferate, though.
It's always expensive to proliferate, so that's actually average.
Yeah. This seems like it would take a while to kill some things, though. Because it would take at least 3 turns to get rid of the last creature we saw, which was the
Yeah,
Necrodan
but
Scudder.
it makes it a 2/2, which is less relevant.
Yeah.
Right. The creatures that it doesn't kill, it just makes less relevant.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not trying to kill something. I mean, instantly.
Just make it easier to
make
deal
it weaker.
with.
Yeah.
All right. What is?
Yeah, and 4 for proliferate isn't high because all proliferate doesn't. It's not cheaply costed. Corrupted Harvester, 4 and 2 black for 6/3. You can pay 1 black and sacrifice a creature to regenerate it.
Sack outlet.
Yeah, it is a sack outlet.
I don't know how big sacrifice outlets are in this, but
well, you got that Kuldotha Rebirth.
Yeah, well,
So
that's
you
an
can-
artifact though. So
Kuldotha Rebirth is a red sorcery.
no, I'm just saying like that's sacking an. Well, I guess it is a sack outlet, sort of. It's only one time though.
No. I'm not saying that this is a sack outlet. Yes, it's a sack outlet. I'm saying that this gives you creatures.
Yeah.
Okay, creatures that then you can sack to keep this guy alive.
Oh, that's true. So
yeah, I'm not talking about the sack outlet. I'm saying
That's-
that you can keep him alive with stuff like that. You know, if you need to keep him alive,
yeah, that's true.
because he blocks well, but he dies to a lot. That's the downside, right? If you want him around, then you need little guys to sack.
Yeah, typically things with regenerate
Yeah, I
will have an easy time dying.
I wouldn't highly pick this at all.
Yeah. I don't know why it's uncommon, but okay. All right, let's get to our rare and see what we got.
All right, we pulled Skithrix. It's a 3 and 2 black for 4/4 with flying and infect, and you can pay black to give it haste until the end of the turn. You can pay 2 black to regenerate it. So for 6 mana, you get a 4/4 hasty infecty guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gets through. It will
This'll win
basically
games.
kill anything that blocks it.
Yeah.
If it can
Yeah.
block this, because
And
it is flying.
anything that tries to kill it, you can just pay 2. You see, even the regenerate's not hard. It's not
Yeah.
hard to pay 2 black to regenerate.
2 black's easy to have.
Especially when you had to have 2 black already to
Yeah.
play the spell. So you should have that 2 black.
And then you have to regenerate. Does it? You regenerate before it takes damage, or do you do it after?
Well, say it would take lethal damage. You would tap to regenerate it. Regenerate taps the creature, and it basically puts a regeneration shield around it, right? So that time that it would be like killed, right? It's not actually killed. Like it puts a shield on it,
Yeah.
essentially.
I'm just wondering, like, when in your multiple steps of a turn do you have to activate the regenerate ability? Is it after it's taken damage?
In
Or-
response to the damage.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I was never clear on regenerate.
Yeah, it's in response to it taking lethal.
Yeah. All right. So that's our Scars of Mirrodin pack. Pretty good pack. I think my first pick would be Skithrix.
Definitely Skithrix. Second is Shatter.
Yeah. What other cards were there that we could consider?
The Spell Bomb I would consider.
Yeah.
Aside from those 2.
And the Kuldotha Rebirth is also
It's
an
also
okay
fine.
consideration.
Contagion Clasp I would actually take over the Spell Bomb.
Yeah. All right. So now let's get into the spoilers for Shadows over
Let's
Innistrad.
just go down them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there have been 120 cards spoiled, at least on this date of the recording and on this website.
You want me to read the cards?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, 1 second.
I got them right here if you want to.
Yeah, but that's small. Okay, I'll read the first one on the page.
Yeah.
Sorin Grim Nemesis. It's 4 and a white and a black for a 6 loyalty planeswalker. Is +1. Reveal the top card of your library and put that card into your hand. Each opponent loses life equal to to its converted mana cost, which is huge,
Yeah.
especially in Commander.
Yeah,
This is a great Commander
that
card.
deck that I'm in the process of building. I'm building a 5-color artifact deck.
Yeah, right. This Planeswalker is definitely, well, it's a bomb in limited.
Yeah.
This will win games in limited, but in EDH, I feel like this was built for EDH.
Yeah, because it does say each opponent, and that obviously says multiple players.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right. Next up, we have its -X. Sorin deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker, and you gain X life. Careful not to try to target players with this, because it doesn't work.
I do like the fact that it targets planeswalkers.
Cheon thought it would. Paul Cheon thought it was creature. I mean, he thought it was player. Yeah, but the other guy had to correct him on. But yeah,
way crazy. You
player.
could just deal 10 to somebody or whatever.
But
he comes out, you deal 6 to someone, and you get 6.
Well, think about it. He kills any of the rest of the walkers in the set instantly.
Yeah, because you can. Yeah.
Right when he comes out, he just kills them.
And he would live too.
He would live
because
he would live
because he has 6 loyalty, and all the rest are below that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Okay, and his ult's even better. Put a 1/1. Put a number. He has a -9. Put a number of 1/1 black Vampire Knight tokens with lifelink onto the battlefield, where equal to the highest life total among all players.
So Commander.
So yeah,
someone has 40 something life. You put 40 something black vampires on the field.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, beat me now.
Yeah, it's like a storm herd.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fact that they have lifelink makes it so much better. Right, and you only have to plus him 3 times. It's not hard.
Yeah, keep him alive for 3 turns, and in the format that he's going to be in most of the time, which is Commander, it's not hard to keep him alive. Unless there's direct removal, but...
Yeah, but if you pull this out of a draft, play it. Build your deck around it.
Yeah, I don't know how you build your deck around it, though. With having... I guess you just try to take high mana cost cards sometimes, and... well, because
Shiler, you still have to be smart about draft.
Yeah, but
you don't completely build around him as if he's your commander.
No. I'm not saying you could.
That's not
you can. It's a smart idea to maybe take a few extra.
You want maybe
high mana cost cards.
You want maybe 3 things at your top, and this is one of them. And then the rest of the time you're +1, and you're just gonna hit mid-level creatures. You don't need anything huge.
That's true.
You know what I mean? You don't need to win the game with the +1. His -X takes care of the ground, and his +1 will incrementally kill your opponent.
Yeah.
You don't even need to ult to win in draft with this.
Yeah, if they can't put down multiple creatures a turn, you can maybe deal with them. But
yeah, it would be fun if you could fill your deck up with big mana cost cards. But it just doesn't work for.
That's true.
Limited, you can have a few things at the top, but if you fill the top end too much, then you're going to lose games, even though you've got Sorin in there.
Yeah. Plus, it's 1 in 40, just so.
Yeah.
It's not going to come up all the time, but.
Yeah, but when it does come up, it'll win you the game.
Yeah.
Hell, things like Oblivion Sower won me the game. It got me my first 3-0 in Battle for Zendikar draft.
Yeah.
Remember that Bant deck? It wasn't the Bant deck that won me the game.
It was Oblivion Sower.
It was Oblivion Sower. Every time I resolved Oblivion Sower, I won the game.
No matter what. It takes the top 4, and then you get their land, and then you're just
he's a 5/8, and he's just impossible to deal with.
Yeah, you're just like, happy birthday.
Right, and this is like that, right? He's just impossible to deal with in limited.
Yeah. I mean, oftentimes, even if someone lays something down with haste, they can't completely kill him because his loyalty's so high. Yeah. Love that it's a loyalty per mana for his
and it's actually that way with 3 of the walkers at the 4.
Yeah.
They really aggressively costed these planeswalkers.
Yeah. So now let's get
to Jace.
Jace.
Jace, Unraveler of Secrets. 3 and 2 blue for a 5 loyalty planeswalker. +1. Scry 1, draw a card. This is like...
This is gonna be like, so awesome.
It's like almost preordained.
Yeah, it's half... not even half of... It's 75% of preordained.
It's 2/3 of preordained. For a +1, so it's a free 2/3 preordained.
Yeah, the fact that you get to scry, then draw a card, you set up what you're gonna draw. It's awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, you've got a -2. Return target creature to its owner's hand. And this is good for blue. I mean,
yeah.
Blue likes to return creatures to their owner's hands instead of kill creatures.
I like that this isn't
right.
like -3. It keeps him at 3 loyalty after you do that. Like, so you play him and then return a creature. It still keeps him at a reasonable loyalty to survive an attack.
And that way you can kind of keep if you want to keep a certain creature off the battlefield, you just play him -2. They have to recast him next turn.
Which you can take that turn to scry
haste, right? Yeah. You can take that turn to scry, and then you bounce him again, right? And they have to recast the same creature like 3 times by the time you're done.
Yeah.
And then his ult is a -8. You get an emblem with whenever an opponent casts his or her first spell each turn, counter that spell.
He's harnessed Kira's ability to counter spells. The first spell of each turn is just... Nope, that's not going to happen. People are trying to set up Surge and it doesn't work.
It's good. In Limited, you won't have to worry about Surge, though.
Yeah.
But in Commander, this is very relevant. This is the...
Oh, I think it's going to be... It might even get into Modern.
Yeah.
The mana cost seems a bit iffy, but we'll see.
People are saying it's still going to be like only a one of in most blue decks and constructed because of the little Jace that's there, right? They're still going to play 4 little Jaces and maybe 1 of this because you don't want too many Jaces.
Kid Jace.
Yeah.
He's so expensive right now. I can't believe how how fast he took off to over $50. He's way above $50 right now. Like it took less than a week for him to be in like every blue deck ever.
Yeah.
In constructed.
Yeah. All right. Olivia, mobilized for war. She's 1 and a black and a red for a 3/3 vampire knight with flying. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may discard a card. If you do, you put a 1/1 counter on that creature. It gains haste until the end of the turn. It becomes a vampire in addition to its other types.
Great for Madness.
Very good for Marchesa.
Yes.
This is... I feel like this was made for Marchesa. But yeah, Madness...
Definitely helps.
The red-black deck in Limited is a red-black vampire Madness
Yeah, you
deck.
can actually finally go back to red-black aggro. That hasn't been a complete...
Red-black vampire Madness.
Yeah, that hasn't been a complete archetype for a long time. Since Ravnica, basically.
No,
right?
It was... In Limited...
Well...
In Limited it was. It's always been a thing.
Well, I mean...
Like I said, they build it... for instance, Magic Origins, the Nantuko Husk.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Right,
yeah.
And Battle had one.
So I guess it's always been.
They all have. It's like I said in the last episode. They try to build in a deck for
every color combination.
For each 2-color combination. Yeah. Right, and for red black this time it's vampires. For white blue it's spirits. Right, for red green it's werewolves,
Yeah.
For blue black it's zombies.
But I'm glad they're bringing back the vampires and that we got Sorin because we needed a better Sorin than the last one we got because he wasn't.
Well, we just needed a better Sorin.
We just needed a better one. Period.
We just haven't had a good one since Markov. Yeah. None of the other ones have been.
And even then, Markov is just so OP. No one plays it.
Yeah, everybody's intimidated to play. But yeah, this is the best since Markov.
Yeah.
Just like the Jace, I think it's the best since the Mind Sculptor.
Yeah. I love the fact that the creature that gets the counter, it gets haste too. So if you, let's see if let me read this to understand it right. Any creature that comes in gets haste, basically. If you do this ability and becomes a vampire.
Right. So this is like perfect if you want to build your Vampire Madness deck.
Yeah. And then if you stick her, which you probably will.
She's 3 mana.
And
is it another creature? Oh,
yeah.
It is another creature. So she can't give herself haste. Don't make that mistake. Can't give herself haste. Dang it. That would be good.
Yeah, that would be good. But
Okay.
from then on, it's just every creature's going to have haste. If you build your deck right.
Yeah,
Then,
well, you should. If you pull something like her, I would try to go vampires. At least try. Look for the signals and try to.
And then, little do you know, you opened Olivia, and then someone else is already drafting red black, and you're like, no.
Okay, we've got Nahiri, the Harbinger. 2 and a red and a white. For a 4 loyalty planeswalker. It has a +2. You may discard a card if you do draw a card. It's similar to Duretti. It reminds me of Duretti.
Yeah.
Okay, she's got a -2. Exile target enchantment, tapped artifact, or tapped creature. It's kind of an awkward -2. It's conditional removal as a -2, which is kind of weird for a planeswalker.
Yeah, it's
very conditional.
Yeah. But I like that it's 3 different types of removal. It's enchantment removal, artifact removal,
but it's very conditional because they have to be tapped.
Yeah, the creatures.
Unless they're enchantment.
Yeah.
Right, a tapped artifact or tapped creature, or an artifact or an enchantment. Right, so the enchantment doesn't have to be tapped, but otherwise it's just super conditional.
Yeah. But see, if it were not tapped though, I think it would have to have black in the mana cost or something because
it's
exile.
White because black mostly destroys creatures.
That's true. Yeah.
Right, she's in white. She exiles creature.
But I mean, white's characteristic from the last couple sets have been something you exile something tapped. So I guess this makes a whole lot of sense to have that, but
still awkward.
Yeah.
Conditional removal on a planeswalker makes it a little worse.
Yeah. So most of the time, I'd probably use the +2 ability until you get to the ultimate.
Planeswalkers' abilities need to be more powerful. Okay, she's got a -8. Search your library for an artifact or creature card. Put it onto the battlefield. Then shuffle your library. It gains haste. Return it to your hand at the beginning of the next end step. Now, I didn't realize it said or creature.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah. Get your biggest, best thing.
Now I understand why Cheon was talking about using this with Emrakul.
Oh my gosh.
You only have to +2.
That's true.
By the way, you also only have to +2 it twice to get to this, right? So it only takes 3 turns.
2 turns, and then the 3rd turn you just
Emrakul. It only takes 3 turns, and then you can... Yeah.
Yeah. Scary.
That's scary.
That is scary. A hasty Emrakul, even?
Yeah.
That's scary. And then you can't even kill it, because it goes back to their hand.
Mm-hmm.
So, granted, it's only 1 turn Emrakul, but still.
Mm-hmm.
That gives them an extra turn, doesn't it? Or is it only when you cast it that you
So you cast it.
Oh, okay. So then...
But it's got Annihilator 6 and stuff like that, so they're not going to survive.
Hasty creature with Annihilator 6.
They're not surviving.
Yeah.
I'd like
Once
to
that
see
hits,
it
people
limited.
are like, I concede.
Right, I decided to after seeing this set, I decided to reconstitute the boob cube. Right, and seeing as how Emrakul is female and Nahiri is female, that's going to be playable.
Yeah. I love the art. People are saying that this looks like Taylor Swift.
It kind of does. I'm betting that might be their
nickname.
Loading Ready Run's nickname for
It's T Swift.
If not, we'll just call her Taylor Swift.
Yeah. I play Taylor. Alright, so
Okay.
we got the last Planeswalker spoiled, And
Okay, and Arlen Cord is the last one. 2 and a red and a green for a 3 loyalty planeswalker. She has a +1 until the end of the turn. Up to 1 target creature gets +2/+2 in haste until the end of the turn. Vigilance and haste.
Yeah.
Which is huge, especially in limited. Like, it protects itself because of that. Like,
yeah, because it gives a creature vigilance.
Yeah.
And it can stay...
Yeah, and it stays untapped so that it can block for her next turn.
Yeah, since she is the planeswalker with the least loyalty, she needs to protect herself in some way, and that does it pretty well. So
yeah, and this is up to 1. So even if the board's kind of stale and you don't really have any creatures, right? You can +1 her and you don't have to target anything. Right. Most things that say anything that says you have to target means you can't activate it if there's nothing to target. But
so if you don't have any creatures, you can at least give her one more.
With this, she can get +1, but you really won't use that if there's no creatures because there are so many other things.
Yeah,
right?
I think it would be better in that case where you have no creatures to just use
activate
the second ability.
The second ability, which is put a 2/2 green wolf token onto the battlefield and transform Arlen Cord.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't figured it out already, she's
a
werewolf planeswalker. We've been wanting werewolf planeswalker since the first Innistrad.
Now, do you think that this is better, or do you think that Huntmaster is better? This was a big debate on Channel Fireball too.
Let's see. The first side of Huntmaster gives him and a token, and he's a 3/3, right? Or is he?
He's a 3/3 or 2/2, something like that.
Yeah. So 4 or 5 power for 5 for. Is it 4? Yeah, for 4. So
it flips regular, right? And then it deals 2 damage when it flips, right? And then
this is a whole lot easier to flip.
It's easier to flip because you can flip it right when you come out. I mean, okay, let's read the other abilities before we talk about.
But the problem with this is like you can't use target creature gets +1/+2 or whatever on these because they're not creatures. So you could save Huntmaster in other ways, but you can't necessarily do that with her.
All right. The flip side is Arlen Embraced by the Moon. Has a +1. Creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain trample until the end of the turn. It pumps your team. It gives it trample. That's great. It has a -1 that bolts. It deals 3 damage to target creature or player, and then you flip Arlen, so it flips back to the other side. And then it's got an ult that says you get an emblem with creatures you control, gain haste, and you can tap them to deal damage equal to their power to target creature or player. So if you ult this, you win.
Yeah.
If you have wolves on the battlefield and stuff like that.
Definitely.
One way you could go about this, people were talking about it on the chat. Wolf, bolt, wolf, bolt, wolf, bolt. 3 wolves, 9 damage.
Whoa!
Right? You make a wolf, bolt, make a wolf, bolt, make a wolf, bolt. Right?
Wow, that seems
for limited. That's huge.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's what I would use it for.
Right.
That would probably be the best.
Yeah, and then if you have wolves out there, right, you can use the +1 and make them huge and go in if you can or if you want to.
And now there's even more reason to build red green, like Jund Wolves Tribal in Commander.
Yeah, red green is back in constructed too.
Yeah.
Because right now there really isn't a red green.
Yeah, the red green was landfall, and that didn't really work out too well in this. Return to Zendikar thing.
Yeah, but this will be good in Jund.
So that question you asked me is Arlen Cord better or Huntmaster? I still think Huntmaster is better because once he flips, he does. Well, no. Well, maybe not. Because this is a repeatable bolt and repeatable tokens.
Yeah.
But Huntmaster is immediately.
It's over the course of 6 turns. That's how that's happening, right? It takes 6 turns to do all that.
Yeah,
if that's what you're doing.
But then Huntmaster is immediately you get a token, and then when no spells are cast, he flips and deals 3.
Mm-hmm.
So If you can hold off, then Arlen's better.
Yeah.
If you can't, Huntmaster's better.
Yeah.
I don't think either one is better than the other. They both have, like, strong cases for either side.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a definitive answer for that. Alright, let's get on to...
It's going to be a big debate.
Yeah.
Archangel Avison. Avison's back.
Yeah.
And she has a 3 and 2 white for a flash flying vigilance, which is already super playable. When it enters the battlefield, creatures you control gain indestructible until the end of the turn. And then whenever a non-angel creature you control dies, transform it.
Yeah.
And it transforms into 6/5 Avison the Purifier. Flying, when this creature transforms into Avison the Purifier, it deals 3 damage to each other creature and each opponent.
I love this angel.
Yeah.
This Avison's
huge.
better. Better than the last version of Avison.
Yeah.
Love it.
You flash her in on your turn to save your team.
To save your team, and then you can flip it.
Then later on,
and then
she flips and...
board wipes.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And then I was planning on putting her in Kalia, but when you think about it...
It'll kill everything.
It'll kill Kalia. No, when she flips, it'll kill Kalia. It won't kill any of the rest of the creatures, but it'll kill Kalia. So, good in Kalia, but you need... I guess it's
I love that it does it to the creatures and the opponent, so that's even better.
Yeah,
gives them...
this is good.
It bolts them for 3, and then everything on their board takes 3, so it could finish out the game with the flip side. You just keep hitting with Avison.
Well, this could finish anyways because of the flying vigilance. Flying vigilance is huge.
Yeah. She'll never tap, and you'll never be able to get rid of her because she's 4/4. Mm-hmm. And it's so hard to deal 4 damage in limited. Mm-hmm. It really is. Because even the last few cards we've gone over, even if you pull the Werewolf Planeswalker, that's still only a bolt, and it doesn't kill her. Mm-hmm. So, what can you do? Then she flips, and she gets even bigger. It's like...
She gets huge.
She's just unbeatable.
She becomes a 6/5. And she wipes the board, which means the opponent's left with, maybe 2 big creatures.
Oftentimes, when you cast this in limited, they're probably going to have no board.
Yeah, this is a bomb in limited.
Yeah. If you see it, take it.
Yeah, I don't know someone why you wouldn't. It's like a $30 card. I would take it for value. Yeah. If I'm not in the color.
If someone for some reason passes it to you, snatch it up right then and there. Because I don't know why they would pass it.
Even if you're not playing it, you can get money out of it. You pay for your whole draft.
Yeah. If anything, value draft it. Yeah.
Yeah. Very good card.
Alright, so we got...
Startled Awake.
Yeah. Love this card.
Yeah, this is awesome. 2 and 2 blue. It's a sorcery. Target opponent puts the top 13 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. And then you can pay 3 and 2 blue to put Startled Awake from your graveyard onto the battlefield transformed. Activate this ability only time you could do a sorcery.
But the other side,
it flips into a persistent nightmare. Skulk 1/1. When it deals combat damage to a player, return it to its owner's hand. So this is a card that you cast from your hand. Right, it goes from the hand to the stack to the graveyard to the battlefield to the hand to the stack to the graveyard to the battlefield.
Yeah,
right.
You can get value from it no matter where it is, except from exile. Then it doesn't matter anymore. But still,
don't let it get exiled.
Anywhere else on the
and it's like I was saying yesterday. If you think about it, all you have to do is resolve this twice, and you've won the game. If you resolve this twice, you win the game. You just win.
That's
because that's
half, if not
big.
2/3 of a person's deck there.
Yeah, that's huge in limited because it's like I was saying the other day. Say you play this on turn 4, right? So they're 4 cards down. Let's say they haven't drawn extra cards or anything like that. So there are 11 cards into their deck on turn 4. You do this, and all of a sudden there are 24 cards in. And then by the time you're able to recast this for its mill, they're at like 26, 27 cards, and you mill them the rest of the way, right? And if you mill them any later in the game, it's even better because it mills faster.
Yeah.
So you just win.
I love the fact that the flip side that it
It's
becomes
got
a
evasion.
creature, and the thing is they're forced to chump block it with a 1/1. And oftentimes people aren't gonna block with their 1/1 because their 1/1's gonna die. So they're forced to trade a creature.
And a lot of the creatures in this set are pikers, which are 2/1s, right? There's a lot of pikers.
You're sitting there opposite this guy's.
And
a 1/1
even pikers can't block it.
Yeah, they can't because it got greater power. Skulk is pretty cool.
Skulk is sweet.
I like. It'd be really scary if they put super broken abilities on.
Also,
with
a
Skulk.
card that I plan on putting in the Boo Cube. Look at her. The chick.
Yeah. Is the flip?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's a chick.
Huh. Okay. Cool. All right.
Okay,
What's the next card?
Behold the Beyond. 5 and 2 black for a sorcery. Discard your hand and tutor for 3 cards. Search for 3 cards from your library and put them into your hand. Then shuffle your library.
I'm putting this
This
in
is
my
huge.
5-color artifact deck.
Yeah.
Go get Olamog, Kozlek.
Don't think it's playable in limited. I wouldn't pick it up.
Yeah, it's too much mana.
Right? Unless
to
you
do
need it for
anything.
something else. Unless you need it for like a commander deck or something like that.
Yeah.
Don't pick it up for limited.
But in Commander, it's going to be insane.
Yeah.
Like what I just said, I have Emrakul, or not Emrakul, Kozlek and both Olamogs in my artifact deck. And I can go get all 3 of them for 1 spell.
Well, it might be playable in like the Vampire Madness deck, I guess.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to have very many cards in your hand because you're discarding. Right, so the discard your hand doesn't matter as much. So maybe put this at the top end of a Vampire Madness deck.
Yeah,
It wouldn't be bad.
and if you have any other big things,
Yeah.
big threats left in your deck by
Yeah.
the time you can cast
Also,
this,
if you
then
just need
get
to
'em.
fill your yard for Delirium, right?
Yeah.
You happen to have Delirium in your hand, and you need Delirium in the graveyard, right? So you just cast this. You have Delirium. You search up your Delirium cards.
Yeah, and Madness, or no, not Madness, but there's enough discard effects in this thing to make Delirium make it easier.
Mm-hmm.
Like even easier than doing what we just said with Behold the Beyond. It takes a
there's some
significant
ways.
amount of mana less to do that, but
There are some ways that Behold the Beyond is good.
Yeah.
Limited.
but often you're gonna take it for other purposes like Constructed and Commander.
Mm-hmm. Alright, we got Wolf of Devil's Breach. 3 and 2 red for a 5/5. Already good. When it attacks, you may pay 1 and a red and discard a card. If you do, Wolf of Devil's Breach deals damage to target creature or planeswalker equal to this discarded card's converted mana cost. Right. This is another card where you can discard a card with madness. Right. So you get 2 for 1. You get the damage plus the card. Right. Imagine this plus Fiery Temper. Right. Which is another card from this set that it's 3 mana, 3 damage to target creature or player, and it has madness cost for 1. So
it's a bolt if you discard
it's a lightning bolt if you discard it. But yeah, this is pretty bomby and limited.
Yeah.
Just because of how aggressively costed the creature is, and then the fact that it just kills something.
And another
you attack.
use for if you somehow pull this and a Planeswalker, that's 2 mythics in the pack. I doubt that happens, but
Maybe if one of them was foil, you could do it.
yeah. But if you used him to discard like a Planeswalker that you know is just gonna die once you set it on the battlefield, you could just discard it and deal 6 instead. If you say got Sorin or something. Not that you'd discard Sorin. I'd probably do that with maybe Arlen. Maybe because she could die really easy. You could just deal 4 instead of trying to keep her alive, and then use your 5/5 to kill everything else.
All right.
So we have
Descend upon the sinful.
yeah.
4 and 2 white. Exile all creatures. Put a 4/4 white angel creature token on the battlefield with flying. If you have Delirium, which is you have to have 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard. So you exile the board, you get a creature.
Yeah.
It's
Like-
pretty good.
One of the best board wipes I've seen in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Because it exiles everything, and it doesn't. That gets around totem armor.
Mm-hmm.
I say that because I have a refit
it's always good to have board wipes that give you something like Martial Coup.
Yeah, that keeps stuff around after you've wiped your own board as well.
Mm-hmm.
But having a 4/4 flyer is a really good thing to have afterwards.
Yeah. Okay, we've got Geralt's Masterpiece. 3 and 2 blue for a 7/7 flying. Geralt's Masterpiece gets -1/-1 for each card in your hand. And then you can pay 3 and a blue to discard 3 cards. If you do, Geralt's Masterpiece, return Geralt's Masterpiece from the graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So
Really
you
good.
can bring it back at instant speed.
Yeah, if you are like a Madness deck, or if you're a Delirium deck, then this would be a good guy to have.
This, and he's going to be like a 4/4, 5/5 when he comes out the first time, and then when he comes out the second time, he's going to be the full 6/6, 7/7.
If you get the chance to pick him, you'd probably end up in Madness or Delirium decks.
Right, he's huge.
Yeah, I like that he can keep coming back too, and he looks like a robotic version of Grizzlebrand.
Yeah, he looks like Geralt made a scab out of Grizzlebrand.
Yeah.
Same power and toughness too as Grizzlebrand.
Yeah, and even cheaper to cast too.
Yeah. Okay, and you want to talk about the rest of the mythics?
Yeah, we got 3 more mythics left, and
Okay.
then we will move on to some more of the other cards.
We've just been covering the mythics so far.
Yeah.
Mind Rack Demon. 2 and 2 black for a 4/5 with flying and trample. When Mind Rack Demon enters the battlefield, put the top 4 cards of your library into your graveyard. It has Delirium. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 4 life unless there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard.
What's really cool is if he enters and then he makes Delirium.
Yeah, and that's kind of what they tried to do, right?
Yeah.
He enters and then you have the chance to get Delirium.
Yeah.
But if you don't have Delirium,
then
you'll
be significantly
he quickly
closer.
kills you. So you want to play aggressive.
Yeah.
Right.
4.45 is 4.45 flying trample
is very good.
Is good by itself. It doesn't even need the other abilities, but having the other abilities makes it awesome.
Yeah, but if you don't have Delirium, it will kill you quickly.
Yeah.
Quickly.
All right, let's get to our next card.
Okay, Relentless Dead.
Yeah.
2 black for a 2/2, so it's a bear with menace. So it's already good. It's a bear with evasion.
It's a bear zombie.
When Relentless Dead dies, you may pay a black. If you do, return it to its owner's hand. When Relentless Dead dies, you may pay X. If you do, return a target zombie card from your graveyard with converted mana cost X from your graveyard to the battlefield.
Here's the question: can you do both?
You can do both.
So you're going to return him and another creature.
Yeah, but you return him to your hand, and like say the guy underneath him, does grab. Is there an English? Yeah.
Diagraph Colossus. 3-drop 2/2 zombie giant. He enters the battlefield with a 1/1 counter on it for each zombie card in your graveyard, and when you cast him, or when you cast the zombie spell, put a 2/2 zombie on the battlefield tapped.
Right, so you could bring him back to the battlefield and Relentless Dead into your hand, and then next turn you cast Relentless Dead, you get an extra 2/2 zombie.
Yeah, and a counter on this guy.
They combo really, really well together, those 2 cards.
Yeah.
Right, there's going to be an actual zombie deck in Standard now.
Yeah.
And the zombie decks in EDH are just going to be way better.
I love it. They brought back all the tribes. They brought back vampires, angels, zombies.
You basically get all the flavor from the last set. But
I love that they incorporated devils into this now, too.
Yeah, there were some devils in the last block.
Yeah, but the fact that they're devil tokens now is really cool. Like, the card next to Relentless Dead on this website we're looking at is Devil's Playground, which is 4 colorless and 2 red for a sorcery. You put 4 1/1 red devil creature tokens on the battlefield, and they have, when this creature dies, it deals 1 damage to target creature or player.
Yeah. So for 6 mana, you get 4 dudes and 4 damage.
Yeah.
4 dudes right then, and then 4 damage later.
Yeah. All right. So I think we have
There's one more mythic.
one more mythic.
They reprinted Sigarda.
Yes.
3 and a green and a white for a 4/5. So she's a little smaller than the last Sigarda, but a little easier to cast. Flying. You and humans you control have hexproof.
You and humans.
Yeah.
You and your creatures have hexproof.
Yeah. And then you can pay 2 and exile a card from your graveyard to put a 1/1 white human soldier creature token on the battlefield.
I imagine this could be a token commander.
Yeah, this is a commander. But I asked this on my Twitter, right? Which is better? This seems like a good commander, but which is a better card?
Yeah,
I don't know. The other one, yeah, it costs 1 extra. Like the other one is 2 a green and 2 white. For a 5/5 that has hexproof, and it makes it so you don't have to sacrifice creatures if your opponents force you to sacrifice creatures. Like if they have Grave Pact, you don't have to sacrifice your creatures to Grave Pact.
Yeah, that's true.
So the other one is, see, they're both good commanders. The old Sigarda is better for not having to sacrifice your creatures, right? If you want that. But this one protects your creatures better.
Yeah, that's either one is a good case.
Yeah, but which is better?
I have no idea.
That's what I want to know.
Alright, so some other cards that are...
what other cards were we going to talk about?
I wanted to talk about the Vindicate.
Oh yeah, the almost Vindicate.
Almost Vindicate. Pseudo Vindicate.
It's kind of in between Utter and Vindicate.
Yeah. It's 3 mana, so 1 colorless, a white and black for an instant that exiles target non-land permanent and you lose 3 life. Similar to Vindicate in that it
small
exiles.
drawback, but it's instant speed.
It's non-land and you lose 3 life, but it's anything else besides lands.
Right.
Which is anything we consider in limited a threat we can remove. Because other than this land down here that flips into a creature, you can't really remove until it becomes a creature. But still.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's good that it's instant because you can get rid of that creature before it flips back over.
Well, it doesn't flip back over after it's a demon.
Oh. Okay. I thought it flipped back over. Okay. Let's see. Some other cards we wanted to go over were the second and third evolutions of Delver. Which is...
We already had the second. But, basically Delver continued experimenting.
Yeah.
After he turned into the insect, the human insect, he continued experimenting, and then he flipped. He's a 3 and a blue for at the 3/2, flying. At the beginning of your upkeep, you put the top card of your library into your graveyard. If it's an instant or sorcery, transform Aberrant Researcher. He transforms into a 5/4. Flying, and it's just a 5/4 flying vanilla, but he finally transforms into his
perfected
ultimate
form.
His ultimate form.
Yeah, he becomes a huge insect, and he is the best.
Yeah,
I love that they kept going.
Yeah,
with it too.
They kept going with it, and the flavor, the flavor goes along with the story too. Because the first Delver talks about talks about the lab notes, and he's writing about his experiments, and then this just continues it.
Metamorphosis is a process from those laboratory notes, and then on the perfected form, which is this card's flip side, which is the final form of Delver.
5/4 flying, insect horror.
Yeah. It says the final pages of the experiment log were blank. Investigators found it abandoned on a desk in the researcher's lab. Open, the pages slipping in the wind form a shattered window.
Mm-hmm.
So blank notes because it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Delver finally finished. Anyways, okay, the next card.
Right.
Thing in Ice.
Yes.
One in a blue for 0/4 defender.
Well, actually, hold on. Before we talk about
Yeah.
Thing in Ice, we should probably talk about the other, the opposite Delver, the black Delver.
I already started talking about this. Why don't we talk about that after?
Okay, we'll talk about Thing in Ice.
Okay. One in a blue for 0/4 with defender. It enters the battlefield with 4 ice counters on it. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, remove an ice counter from it. And then when it's got no ice counters, transform it. It transforms into a 7/8.
It breaks out of its shell.
Yeah, out of the ice.
Yeah.
Nice The Thing reference if you've ever seen The Thing. It flips into a 7/8. When this creature transforms into Awoken Horror, return all non-horror creatures to their owner's hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, when this comes down, it blocks really, really well until it flips. And then when it flips, it's a bomb, and it just wins the game.
Yeah.
When it flips, it just decimates.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So the next card we wanted to talk about, and I don't know how many other cards.
Heir
Heir
to
to
Falkenrath.
Is a black version of Delver of the first version of Delver.
Close.
It's
Costs 1 more, but it's easier to flip.
yeah. It's a 1 in a black for a 2/1 vampire, and it has the ability to discard a card to transform it, and you can only activate its ability once each turn. But it flips into Heir to the Night, which is a vampire berserker, 3/2 flyer. So black Delver, black
Close.
female Delver, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty decent.
Mm-hmm.
Any other cards you wanted to
we were going
spotlight?
to talk about that cycle.
Oh yeah.
Okay. There is an uncommon cycle of delirium creatures. The first one, we'll start with white. Topplegeist. It's a white for a 1/1 flying. When Topplegeist enters the battlefield, tap target creature an opponent controls. Has delirium at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep. If there are 4 or more if you have delirium, basically we've explained that before. Tap target creature that player controls. So at the beginning of their upkeep every turn, if you have delirium, you can tap a creature.
Yes, definitely.
Right. If you have delirium, this is basically Sentinel of the Watch. Right. I'm from Origins. If anybody remembers that, Sentinel of the Watch was like super highly picked. It was huge and limited. Anyways, Manic Scribe, 1 in a blue for a 0/3. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent mills 3. Puts the top 3 cards from the graveyard from their library into their graveyard. And then has Delirium. At the beginning of each upkeep of each opponent's upkeep, if you have Delirium, they mill 3 cards. Reminds me very much of Curse of the Bloody Tome.
Yeah.
What do you think about that one?
My opinion of this creature, okay.
It's just as playable as Curse of the Bloody Tome was.
Yeah, it's cheaper to milk stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that I don't like the fact that it's
set's Curse of the Bloody Tome.
Yeah, well, it's a little bit easier and harder, both to
blocks well.
It's easier to cast it, but harder to get it going each upkeep because you have to have Delirium. But I like the fact that it gets rid of 3 things right off the bat. And
it blocks well. Curse didn't block.
Yeah, the fact that this is a creature is better too.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we've got Tooth Collector, 2 in a black for a 3/2. When Tooth Collector enters the battlefield, target creature gets -1/-1 until the end of the turn, which often will kill a creature. And then at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, if you have Delirium, target creature that player controls gets -1/-1 until the end of the turn. So you can kill multiple creatures or weaken multiple creatures.
Yeah.
Whenever you if you have delirium. Obviously.
Continued removal, because if you have delirium, then
there are a
every
lot of
upkeep.
It's like we said. There's a lot of pikers. There's a lot of 2/1s. So this will kill a lot of creatures.
If this thing keeps living, you can keep getting rid of creatures slowly every turn.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not every turn, but every couple turns you get rid of
and
like
when
a
it doesn't,
3/3 or
when it
2/2.
doesn't get rid of something, it'll
make it easier
make
to
it
deal
smaller.
with. Yeah.
Okay, we've got 1 and a red for a 2/1, another piker. Is it gibbering fiend or gibbering fiend?
Gibbering fiend, I think.
Okay, when it enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to each opponent, and then it has delirium. If at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, if you have delirium, it deals 1 damage to that player. So it will repeatedly dome them for 1.
Yeah.
It's fine. Not as good as any of the other 3 so far, though.
It'd be cool if it could target a creature, but it's only players. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
So it just continues to dome them, which can get real. This is another card that compares to a curse. Curse of the Pierced Heart. Remember?
Yeah, that did 1 damage too.
It domed them for 1 damage every upkeep, just like this one.
Yeah.
Then we've got Obsessive Skinner. 1 and a green for a 1/1. When it enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. So this can either just be a bear when it comes out, or you can give a 1/1 counter to something else. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, if you have delirium, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. So you can just keep making creatures bigger.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Make your 1/1 a 2/2. Make your 3/3 or 4/4. Stuff like that.
Is there anything else that common and uncommon that you want to talk about?
I like the fact that Obsessive Skinner, the card that we just talked about.
Yeah.
He's so obsessed he has to skin everything.
Yeah.
And then there's the whole line of wolves just sitting on the hooks.
Yeah, he's just got tons of skinned animals.
It's like, I'm gonna get to these today. I need to keep doing it. No sleep. One thing I wanted to talk about was this spider down here. It is a 5-drop, 4 colorless and a green for a spider, 2/5 with reach, and also he can block an additional 7 creatures.
We can block a total of 8.
Yes. I love it. The best blocker ever created. Not necessarily, but this is a crazy ability. If you have that Obsessive Skinner and you keep putting counters on this guy, pretty soon he'll be able to withstand anything he blocks.
Isn't 100-handed one
and
really the ultimate blocker?
Well, that can only block...
It can block up to 100 creatures.
Oh, it can.
Yeah, that giant from Theros block.
Yeah, but it's just only so big too.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is
it can block more,
yeah.
So technically that's the ultimate blocker.
Yeah.
This is like second to him.
This is like his little pet.
His pet spider.
Yeah, the 100-handed one has a pet spider. That makes so much sense, right?
Yeah, and do you want to talk about Avicenian missionaries too?
Yeah,
because that's what the last thing was about too.
The Avicenian missionaries are a 4-drop 3/3 human cleric, and at the beginning of your end step, if it's equipped, transform it, and it transforms into the card that we were talking about last week.
That
no one has.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to do a different thing.
Yeah, the Lunarch Inquisitors, which was the art that we asked everyone to figure out what card it was. And it says, when this creature transforms into Lunarch Inquisitors, you may exile another target creature until Lunarch Inquisitors leaves the battlefield.
So yeah, when it flips,
and it becomes a 4/4 as well.
Well, essentially, okay, they're missionaries. Look at the flavor of it. They're missionaries. They come in, right?
And come bearing the word of Avicen in the Lunarch Council.
You give them a weapon, right, and they kidnap someone.
We come bearing the word of Avicen in the Lunarch Council.
They've got a freaking
guillotine.
Right. So they got weapons. They kidnap somebody, and they're gonna cut his head off.
Yeah. We come bearing the word of Avicen, and then we come bearing the tools of confession and absolution. Let's get inside your house. Shut the door, lock it. Okay, you're gonna confess.
Do you want to show them that equipment that I'm the one that flips?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's an equipment that flips too. It's that one right there.
The neglected
Yeah.
heirloom. It's a 1-drop artifact equipment, and equipped creature gets +1/+1, and it equips for 1. Now, when equipped creature transforms, you transform this equipment, and it transforms into a equipment that gives equipped creature +3/+3 and first strike, and it equips for 3.
Yeah, and this combos so well with the Avasonian missionaries. You give them this, and then they flip, and this flips at the same time, makes it a 7/7. They lose a creature.
So it would stay on the same creature?
You have a first striker. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's still the same creature. It didn't leave the battlefield. It just transformed.
Oh, okay.
It's like a morph.
Well,
It just flipped.
So then it stays this like this forever. Then.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, this equipment will stay flipped. It will not flip back.
Cool. That's why it's got the equip cost. I was wondering, like, does it fall off and you have to re-equip it, or what?
No. Yeah. It just stays like this.
Okay. So
there's now this land that we were talking about before. Westvale Abbey. It's a rare land. It taps for colorless mana. You can pay 5 and tap it and pay a life to get a 1/1 white-black human cleric onto the battlefield. Or you can pay 5 and tap it to sacrifice 5 creatures to transform Westvale Abbey, then untap it. Now that's relevant because of what it transforms into. Obviously, 5 creatures sounds big, but it transforms into something way bigger.
Into
Ormondal, Profane Prince, a 9/7, flying lifelink, indestructible haste.
I like on the art. Look, it's the Westvale Abbey, and then all of a sudden this creature just lands in front of it.
So these the 5 creatures that you sacked are likely worth sacking to get this card.
Yeah,
Because
it's like
this
those
is a bomb when it flips.
Those humans on the art on the Abbey on the front side. Those humans standing in front of the church all of a sudden grow and just slam down into this big huge demon. Flying lifelink, indestructible haste, 9/7.
It's huge.
Yes.
Worth sacking 5 creatures too, in my opinion.
You could I would consider this a first pick in
Also,
limited.
yeah, I would, especially not to mention it being a bomb.
Yes.
But it, but it doesn't take up a slot in your deck, right? This just takes up a land slot, so you don't even have to slot a spot for this card in your deck, right?
Yeah, it's just
you can play it in any color deck. You can play it in any deck.
It's a creature that doesn't count
Right.
in a creature spot.
Yeah, it doesn't count in the card slot. It counts in the land slot.
Yeah.
Which makes it more worth playing.
I like this guy's comment on this website. Oops, I broke my pencil. Oh crap, there was a demon in there. Ah!
And the flavor text, it says, with Grizzlebrand gone, the Skurstag either eagerly awaited another demon to claim their devotion. Ormondal did not make them wait long. So Ormondal is basically Grizzlebrand's replacement. He's rising to power after Grizzlebrand's gone.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we.
Is there anything else?
I wanted to talk about Rattle Chains,
Thresh.
which is a.
You want to talk about Thresh?
Yeah, Thresh. We're gonna nickname this thing Thresh. It's Rattle Chains is a 1 colorless and a blue for a 2/1 spirit with flash and flying, and when it enters the battlefield, target spirit gains hexproof until the end of the turn. And it also has you may cast spirit spells as though they had flash.
Yeah,
So spirits could even be a thing in this too.
And are you going to bring up the art for these cards that we're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks just like Thresh.
Yeah, if you pay attention to the art, I'm showing all the cards if you haven't noticed already. But this art looks like Thresh because he's got lanterns and then he's got chains attached to him.
Yeah, and he's a spirit dude.
And he looks just like Thresh does.
Mm-hmm.
Like with his costume and everything.
Are there any other cards that you want to talk about? What about that little vampire that gives all of their vampires madness?
Yeah.
Do you want to read that?
This one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the Falconwrath Gorger is a 1 mana 2/1 vampire berserker. By itself, Piker. Okay.
Well, not a piker. Better than a piker because it's
Yeah.
a 1 mana 2/1.
I thought that's what a piker is.
No, it's a 2 mana 2/1. It's a piker.
Oh, okay. Yeah, better than a piker. Okay. So that by itself, really good. And then it has the ability, each vampire creature card you own that isn't on the battlefield has madness, and the madness cost is equal to its mana cost. So you discard it and cast it for its mana cost.
Yeah. All your vampires in your deck in your hand now have madness. So your Falconwrath, I'm your heir to Falconwrath, or your other things that flip with discarding, right? All of a sudden, they can not worry about what they discard. They can discard any of your creatures, and they will come down with madness.
Yeah. Let's see, is there anything else we want to talk about?
You wanted to talk about that storm card.
Yeah. The Harness the Storm. It is a 3-drop enchantment. So 2 in a colorless. Or no, what am I talking about? 2 colorless and a red for an enchantment. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand, you may cast target card with the same name as that spell from your graveyard. So, in Modern especially, the Storm deck, so you cast... you have this on the battlefield, you cast Serum Visions,
I feel like
and you have Serum Visions in your graveyard.
I feel like they had Modern in mind.
Yeah. And then this can just stack up Storm endlessly.
Yeah. Close to endlessly. You have to cast a card from your hand, and if it's the same as one from your grave, so it allows for several extra casts, but it's not infinite.
Yeah, that's true.
It allows you to cast the card several extra times, but that'll still stack up Storm like crazy.
Yeah.
And it's it's in a storm.
Yeah, the art is a storm, and the name has a storm, and
it's
has storm in
pretty much all storm
in the what do you call that? The flavor text. And
in my review on Twitter, I just all I said on this card was storm ? And I got 1 or 2 comments that said yes, storm, yes,
yes, storm, yes,
yes.
All right, so that's basically the extent of the spoilers that we have.
Well, there's a lot
so
more.
far.
There are 120 spoilers total. But
there are a lot more to come.
We just covered a lot of the rares and stuff.
Yeah, but I figured it would be a good spoiler episode since the mythics were all spoiled and a really good handful of rares were spoiled, and that cycle of delirium creatures was spoiled. We figured it was worth a spoiler episode. But I want to announce...
what?
Well, we're going to make it easier for everyone to win this contest. I want to reissue the contest. I want you to tweet at us what's your favorite card so far that's been spoiled. And just hashtag it. Yeah, what's your favorite spoiler? Just tweet it out, but make sure you put the hashtag DraftKings SLC in it so that we can search that hashtag. And we will give you until next week when we record the next episode.
Once again, you're getting 13 packs.
Yes,
free
13 packs
if you win this. So it's worth it.
And think, the one we pulled today, you get a Skithrex. And what are some other noteworthy cards in that stack?
I don't know.
I don't remember either.
there was a lot of good ones.
Yeah, but you get the Fallen Empires pack. You get all the other older packs that we've opened so far for free. So, once again, tweet out what is your favorite spoiler so far, and make sure you put the hashtag DraftKings SLC inside. And then next episode we will search that hashtag and find the winner. But that is it for now for this episode. Thank you all for watching. You can follow me on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube at ShyGuy768. And you can follow Tyler.
Follow me at Tyler A. Hill 7918 on Twitter. And if you want to see more of me talk about the spoilers, go follow my Twitter, because that's where I talk most about the spoilers.
Yeah.
Right. I live tweet the spoilers every day that they come out.
And also, you can follow him on the at the Edge 452 on YouTube.
Yeah. Go watch me draft.
Yeah, he's got. You have four.
5 videos, 4 draft videos.
Yeah, 4 draft videos and a GTA 5 video. But that is it for now. Until we meet again, may you all draw well, but most of all, have fun.